Hello and welcome back to Psychic Oracle Live. My name is Carrie Kirkpatrick and this is our first live broadcast of Psychic Oracle Live. It's a new format live psychic interactive show from our studios in Highgate. And what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be inviting some of my psychic friends into the studio, people whose skills and talents I really admire, people who have a huge amount of knowledge, a breadth of information, skills, expertise. They've written books, they've taught, they've got their own businesses, and they're going to be coming into the studio and joining me in each of the Psychic Oracle live shows so that we can really showcase their talents and their skills. And yes, they are available for readings via appointment afterwards, but a lot of the kind of ethos behind Psychic Oracle Live is to help people to learn about the psychic world, to be able to benefit from people coming into the studio with their expertise, sharing their knowledge. And in this section of the show, I'm going to share some of my knowledge as well, because I do have an area of specialism in the psychic world, and that is working with the goddesses. I do have a pagan background where I can work with the goddesses in a devotional way, and that's really very popular in many different forms and guises. And there is a huge goddess movement. Goddess spirituality is very big and has been from really the middle of the last century. But when it comes to crossing over into the psychic world, where I found myself in front of the camera, gosh, about 8 years ago now, sort of teaching and reaching out to people through television and giving them psychic readings, it felt appropriate for me to bring this kind of goddess knowledge through and see how this could be applied in lots of different ways in helping people, not necessarily just with pagans or priestesses or people who were already very interested in this, but people who'd maybe even never heard of it before. So what's happened is that over time I've found ways of incorporating the knowledge that I've learned about the goddesses with extra practical tips and ways of incorporating it into the psychic readings, taking it out to the people, really, finding different ways that they can help, they can benefit from working with the goddesses. And I have produced 2 books that I really, the idea came about from working with my dear friend Cleo K. She helps me a lot with goddess enchantment workshops. We've been working together on these workshops for many years, and Cleo is an expert on working with the goddesses, also very expert on Egyptology and ancient Greece and Rome and many different areas of ancient history. We worked on these workshops for many years, and we'd started to take lots of photographs of them because I love my photography. And I think Cleo originally came up with the idea. She said, you know what, we should make a book. And this idea grew and grew and grew, and it ended up being several books. You know, we now have 2 volumes of Goddess Enchantment, Magic and Spells that I've written and photographed, and Cleo has helped all the way through. And she's also writing a whole series of books called Goddesses and Gods for You, or Gods and Goddesses for You, I think, which will be available soon. So it's been a wonderful journey producing these Goddess Enchantment books, and yes, there will be some more further down the line. They do require an awful lot of time and effort, and we may very well be making this knowledge available in video form for you to pay to download sooner than another book, just because of speed and of what we can do here in the studio. So I'm going to take now an opportunity to teach you a little bit about one of my favourite goddesses. It's one of the goddesses that I am dedicated to, and that's the Egyptian goddess of love, Hathor. She's a goddess of love, of joy, of beauty, of dancing, of drinking, of just general sense of self-love and beauty and merriment and enjoyment. And I feel that when I've been working with people, teaching them about the love goddesses over the phones, over the years, on TV, I found that a lot of the times the questions were about love. And yes, of course, there were these sort of like very typical questions of like, is he coming back to me? When am I going to meet somebody? You know, I haven't heard from him for 5 years. Does this mean we're going to get back together? And you know, in a lot of cases, it was like, no, but I wanted to look beneath this. What was prompting people to hang on to these situations that really weren't serving them very well? It wasn't nurturing them emotionally. It wasn't enhancing their own personal growth. And I found that working with the goddess Hathor, she used to start to come through to me when I was working with these clients. And she would teach me about how to heal them by using a visualization of working with the rose quartz crystal. and the rose quartz cave. And so I started to take people into quick visualizations during their phone calls into a rose quartz cave, and to help them with an affirmation and a visualization, a kind of magical process that could reaffirm, re-establish their self-esteem, their sense of beauty, their sense of appreciation of their own love, of their own self. You know, too many people had sort of shattered kind of self-esteem, had maybe their confidence knocked, their heart broken in many different ways, and therefore even though they wanted to have love back in their life again, they were finding it very difficult to follow through, because really they weren't quite ready. They were still carrying the wounds. So I felt very inspired to bring the Hathor energy in this evening, and I didn't know what I was going to do at this part of the show, but it seems like Hathor is actually the way to go. So I've picked up first of all my Hathor mirror, which is this beautiful mirror that I've bought from a lovely lady that I see at the Goddess Conference down in Glastonbury. She's called Ronnie Hudson. She is the finest purveyor of Egyptian artifacts this side of the Sphinx, I would say. So Ronnie Hudson, you can find her on Facebook, really got the most amazing goddess and Egyptian paraphernalia. And in fact, it's Ronnie who made this beautiful Isis. That's the first time I met her in a Goddess Conference many years ago. It was very convenient for me because the Goddess Conference is always just before my birthday, so I used to go down there and always find something that I really wanted, but it would seem a bit extravagant for me at the time. But luckily, because with the birthday just around the corner, I used to manage to get some amazing presents from it. And this beautiful Isis was carved by Ronnie Hudson as well, and I've loved it ever since. And it's very magical statue to work with. So we've really brought Isis and Hathor through for you this evening. Added to this, we have the most amazing plaque of Hathor here that was gifted to me for my last birthday by Cleo Kay, who I mentioned just a moment ago, and also Alan Ryder. And we absolutely love this plaque of Hathor. It's very magical, very powerful, and very inspiring. So I decided to bring these energies in today because it's a new moon tomorrow. You know, we're just at the dark of the moon right now, and it's a new moon tomorrow. It's August bank holiday weekend, and a lot of people aren't working tomorrow, but they may be thinking, you may find yourself thinking more about matters of the heart, about love. It's often on those days off from work where your mind will turn to the area of your emotional life a little bit more. So I thought that it would be very nice to teach you a little bit of a way of working with Hathor for this new moon. I'm going to demonstrate it with you. I know it's technically still the dark of the moon today, so this is really for you to watch and then practice tomorrow on the new moon. First of all, we take a pink candle if we're wanting to work with love. Now, if you can't find a pink candle, don't worry too much, because you can use a white one and just imagine that colour's on it, or maybe even draw on it, or put a ribbon around the base or something like that. If you're going to put a ribbon around the base of something like this, I would also be careful that, you know, you remove it before it gets to the bottom. So maybe colouring it, or just find a pink candle. You know, it's not that difficult. I would also find some oil to anoint the candle. Here I've got amber in a very nice kind of roller bottle here. This oil was from a company called the Frankincense Store, who go to all of the major Mind, Body, Spirit festivals, and they have the most incredible frankincense range that you could possibly imagine, and they're down in Camden Market in Stables, so that really is an incredible shop to go to buy all these beautiful scents. So they've got this lovely range of oils, and I've chosen amber for today. And we've also got a copy of my book, Goddess Enchantment, Magic and Spells, Volume 2. Now this is Volume 2 covers goddesses of love, abundance and transformation. So I'm going to take you to the section on Hathor. We've got a lovely photograph here of Hathor. There we are. And I've represented it with a lovely dancer, because she's the goddess of dance, and the model is a dancer. She's a belly dance teacher, and she's very much in tune with the Hathor energies. Sam Neill, and she teaches belly dance classes. You can find her on Facebook and on the internet. Really amazing woman, and her teaching is second to none. So I've created this image there of Hathor, and I'm going to start off by reading you one of the invocations, because at the beginning of every chapter in my books, I've put in invocations that I've either sourced from other witches and priestesses who've been working for many, many years, obviously with their permission, or it's taken from ancient texts, or in some cases I've completely written them myself, or I've adapted them. So I'm going to read this out to you first of all, to help call her in and to sort of get you into the vibration of the goddess Hathor. We exalt you to the heights of heaven, great goddess of love and beauty. Bestow your gifts upon us, that we may embrace love with a joyous heart. You are the mistress of music, the lady of the dance. We praise your majesty every day, from dusk until the earth grows light. We praise you with song. We dance for your majesty, and your heart rejoices over our performance. So here we have an ancient calling in of the goddess, and you can see even here in the book we've got the Hathor mirror spell, and this shows the mirror which I've got brought in today with a candle burning in front of it. So I thought what I might do is actually, which one shall I teach you? Yes, I think I'm going to teach you the Hathor mirror spell. Now the aim of this spell is to attract love into your life. Now this doesn't have to be just a lover, it can be love within your life. If you feel that you haven't got enough love within your life, and you know that reflects in all of your relationships, then you could be using this spell as well, because you're identifying an area of your life that you want to work on. You can use a pink or a red candle, a candlestick, and some oil. Now it could be rose or jasmine, they're often associated with love. I've chosen amber today. Again, we're sort of going towards the very sweet oils, the sweet floral, quite pungent oils to invoke those emotions. And you can also light jasmine incense, or an incense that kind of induce that kind of atmosphere as well. First of all, you can create a sacred space, and in chapter 1 of all of these books I've written different ways of creating sacred space. It's important to cleanse the energy of your room before you do any magical working. You know, we're not often in a situation, in fact I don't think anybody is, where you would have a room that would be dedicated to be used as a temple all of the time. So what we're finding is people are going to have to sort of, you know, be quite eclectic, kind of go with the flow of all of this. And so if you're just turning the lights down and putting some candles on, and suddenly your coffee table becomes your altar, or maybe you're out and it's like in a little grove of trees. If you're lucky to be in the countryside with a grove of trees, you can use that as a sacred space to work in. But there would always be a sense of preparing the sacred space. So if you are working in your home, which is used for many other purposes, first of all you want to make sure your phones are off, and you also want to make sure that you know, you're not going to be disturbed. So turn the lights down, maybe put on some very nice quiet relaxing music. You can go around with salt mixed with water, sprinkle around, first of all to create a sacred space. Please be careful of the electrics, and then you can also light your incense. Sometimes people use a sage smudge stick to cleanse the area energy too. Sit down and always have an altar candle in the center of your table. This will be the candle that you light your candle from. I've got one over here. I'd like you to imagine the golden light from that candle flame expanding and expanding. You know, you see a little halo around the flame. It expands like a big golden ball of light, and as it does so, you become absorbed by this golden ball of light, and it grows and grows and fills up the whole room, the whole property, the boundaries of the property even. And as you are absorbed in this golden ball of light, it will remove all traces of negativity, doubt and fear, and you know that you're safe. Imagine the light from this candle coming and illuminating all the way up through your chakras, your energy centers, replenishing your energy levels. And for the time being, you can cut all connections with other people in your life energetically for the purposes of this ritual, and afterwards reform only the positive links. So you're basically shutting all away gently. You feel your breathing slow, breathing into your lower abdomen and out through your mouth, breathing in. And now I'd like you to take your candle and you take your oil. If you've got a roller ball like this is great. But if not, you can just put the oil on your finger and anoint the candle. I'd like you to close your eyes and focus on the candle and just be aware of the goddess Hathor on the other side of the candle, looking towards you as you focus with your heart. I'd like you to say out loud what it is that you wish to attract into your life in the form of love, whether it be better relationships around you at work, better relationships with your family, better relationships with your friends, better relationships with your lovers, past and present. If you wish to attract somebody new into your life, then ask her, ask the goddess to show you the way to walk towards the right person for you in your life. And then what I'd like you to do is to take your candle and light it. Sometimes it's good to melt the bottom of the candle as well, a little bit. And put it in the candle holder so that it's safe. And now with your mirror, now this mirror is a beautiful Hathor mirror, but you might be using a small handheld mirror, even a tiny little compact mirror. What I'd like you to do, in a low light situation, I know our studio is quite brightly lit at the moment, is that you can get your mirror and you can put it on the other side of the flame. And I'd like you to just start to gaze into it. So maybe you can sort of support the mirror or just hold it if it feels comfortable for you. I'd like you to gaze into the flame until your eyes lose focus on your reflection. And use this as a form of scrying and focusing on what it is that you wish to bring into your life. And take some time to think about the goddess Hathor and how she looks and what she might be saying to you. Now, the first time you try this, you might think, oh, goodness me, maybe that goddess didn't say anything to me at all. Or maybe she will. Maybe you'll just automatically drift off and some ideas will come into your mind. And just see what comes through. Sometimes when looking at a reflection and working with the goddess Hathor, you may see different things about yourself. You might suddenly have a change of hairstyle, or you dislike wearing your makeup differently, or you're wearing jewellery more differently. There'll be things about your appearance that could change through working with a Hathor visualization. It's not to say that you need to change anything, but when you're working with self-esteem and an image and a sense of attractiveness, sometimes working with the physical image, especially for women, when there's so many things that they can play with, can become a very powerful magical act. So we're finding that really the goddess Hathor can be a great inspiration for helping you to signify change in your love life and in your self-confidence and your self-esteem by encouraging you to make a physical change that is something to do with your appearance, because every time you look in the mirror you will see that something looks different. Okay, so here's another invocation that you can say to her as you're looking into your mirror. Great goddess Hathor, goddess of love, of beauty and joy, I ask that you be here present this night, that I may voice my true desire for a love in my life who will lift my heart with passionate joy. May they be guided to my side, that we may share a love so true. May our hearts sing with joy in honour of you. Guide me to be in the right place at the right time to meet my heart's desire, that they may be ready and willing to love me with a passion equal to mine. Show me my new love, O Goddess divine. And as you light your candle, you can say, so mote it be. This is a really good time to really get to know how you might get back in touch with your sensuality. I think sometimes, maybe following a breakup or some heartache, sometimes women especially might just kind of put a lot of their sensuality or their sense of being attractive to one side. Sometimes it's after people have had children and they've all grown up and they sort of feel, oh, well, I'm older now, I'm sort of past it, whatever. And it can be the same for guys too. People feel like, oh, I'm out of the running. This isn't just limited to women. And I feel that the goddess Hathor can kind of reawaken that sense of sort of sensuality of loving oneself. It's not always about meeting a sexual partner at all. It's just about feeling lovely and feeling lovable. And I think sometimes we do have to go and reawaken that part of ourselves if it's been a bit hurt and sort of locked away somewhere along the way, and this can go back quite some time. So I found over the years that a lot of people benefited from working with the goddess Hathor and reawakening this sensuality, and it can result in people sort of having a bit of a makeover, or maybe just starting to use nicer products on their skin, or maybe even going and buying some lingerie or some nice things to wear, or just to feel a little bit more special, a little bit more lovely. So these are some of the magical things that you can do to bring you in touch with the goddess energy, especially the goddess of love, that can really help you to enhance that love within yourself. But it's also about helping you bring magic into your life. This is just one of the goddesses, one of the goddesses of love that I've introduced to you today. There are many different goddesses and they all have different departments. They do have different specialisms. So I found that over the years when I was reading for people and helping them with their problems, bringing through these magical goddess energies and giving them some tips and ways of working with them was really useful for them, because it helped them to get where they wanted to be. It helped them to manifest the kind of life that they wanted to manifest, and to move on from things in their past which weren't really serving them anymore, maybe making them feel a bit trapped and a bit unhappy. So that's just a little taste of things to come. We are going to be having a show called The Goddess Oracle. We're not quite sure exactly when that's going to be ready to go, but we're working on it right now, and it is going to feature priestesses, different ways of working with the goddess, and also quite likely some footage from our workshops as well. So like with all our shows, if what I'm talking about here resonates with you and you'd like to get involved, you'd like to find out more, perhaps you'd like to appear on one of our shows, just get in touch, because that's what we're here for. We want you to interact with us, to get involved, maybe to come and appear on the show. Maybe you'd like to promote your business on our show. There's lots of different things. Just go to the website and find out all the different strands of the beautiful web that we have that is being woven here at Oracle Television. The website is www.oracletelevision.com. Please follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Oracle Television, and also Twitter, and the handle's Psychic Oracle. Our email address is contactpsychicoracle@gmail.com, and you can use all of these methods of communication to just get involved with us, ask questions, want to be on the shows, want to be in the magazine, want to do anything, you just let us know. And of course, if you want to have a one-to-one reading, you can do. All you have to do is dial the telephone number that appears on the screen here, which is 0207 193 6457. It's going to come through to us, and we will make an appointment for you with one of the psychics, whether it's myself, whether it is Nina Ashby or Sonia Oscar. We have readings available to book online as well through the website. So just go there and have a browse around and see what takes your fancy, see what appeals to you, and look at some of the other programs that we've got coming up soon as well.